This week in Jamaica Now, police eyeing more arrests against persons who spread malicious information on social media. Stop it, National Security Minister decries fake news. Transport lobby group JATOO opposes new anti-tint guidelines. They're seeking legal options. And 15-year-old daughter of entertainer Anthony Cruz murdered in Florida. I'm Jovan Johnson and this is Jamaica Now. More persons could be hauled before the courts for using social media to publish false information about other individuals. Head of the police's Cybercrimes unit, Assistant Commissioner Clifford says investigators are now probing 25 such cases, stressing that the police are taking these incidents very seriously.
The obscene publication images on social media with the intent of defaming other person is something that we consider serious because of the implication it has on a person, family life, and even work, because we have seen where persons have lost their job because of these malicious communication. And so we now, armed with the legislation, will do what we're required to do as police officers to prosecute persons who have committed these offenses. And we hope that persons who have such intention will realize that the law is going to take its course.
On Monday, 35-year-old Amika Mullings was arrested and charged under the Cybercrimes Act for circulating false and malicious pictures on social media, claiming that her ex-boyfriend is wanted for rape, assault and murder. In the meantime, National Security Minister Robert Montague is describing as entirely false the information circulating on social media, alleging that persons are being abducted and killed so their organs can be harvested and sold. Mr. Montague says these reports are undermining the work of the security forces and making an already difficult situation worse. He says investigations are pointing to a small group of persons who are perpetrating these actions with ulterior motives, and that the matter is being investigated by the Cybercrimes unit for possible action. At least one transportation lobby group could be mounting a legal challenge at the government's new anti-tinting measures. The guidelines, which were implemented on Monday, require the removal of all tints from cars except on the back passenger windows for buses. No tint will be allowed for the rear glass or two immediate glasses at the side. The Jamaica Association of Transport Owners and Operators, JATOO, says it is seeking legal advice on the measure, noting that the law allows for a certain grade of tints on public passenger vehicles. JATOO's president, Barton, says the association disapproves of what he calls government's unilateral decision.
What should have happened is that you propose something to us, we will consider it in our interest or in the interest of the traveling public. But what they are doing is just wholesalely breaking our contract with the government and doing whatever they feel like doing. We are saying institute or prosecute the operators under the present law. The present law calls for a 35-degree tint, which was proven to us when it was instituted that you could see right through the vehicles.
Meanwhile, the state-run Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC says it will cost the company millions to retrofit its fleet to comply with the new tinting guidelines. While calling the move impractical, the JUTC's communications manager Reginald says the state agency will adhere to the requirements.
What we have to do. Luckily, we have been granted a period of time to adjust, and one way of adjusting for us going forward in terms of consideration is the matter of special security. We are presently looking at a detailed examination of all the tinting and related materials on the buses, so that we can prepare ourselves to adhere as best as possible.
The JUTC has been given 1 year to become compliant. Kingston Parish Court Judge Andrea Pettigrew Collins this week blasted the police over the practice of detaining persons before conducting a thorough investigation. She said the police too often put the cart before the horse. She made the remarks after ordering the police to charge or release popular entertainer Alkaline, who was in custody for 4 days without charge. Alkaline, whose real name is Erland Bartley, was being questioned in relation to the murder of a man in Marvelous St. Andrew last month. He was eventually released. Entertainer Anthony Cruz has asked the public for space to grieve the murder of his daughter, who was shot inside her home in Florida in the United States on Monday. Cruz says he's devastated by the death. There has been an outpouring of condolences for the entertainer after news broke that his 15-year-old daughter and her 40-year-old mother were fatally shot. Their killer, 32-year-old Kevin Nelson, confessed to the murder to police 911 and has been charged with 2 counts of murder. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune into Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Jovan Johnson, and before we go, the government has announced changes to the secondary placement exam, the Grade 6 Achievement Test. Here are highlights from the press conference.
It's not a one-shot exam anymore. It's a primary exit profile. For example, you have the Grade 1 Readiness Inventory, which is really an assessment of the student's readiness. So I give that to, because it's important as a person in the media that you communicate that. It be 3 components that will make up the primary exit profile.
National Standards Curriculum, as was mentioned by our minister, has been developed and is being implemented, and the primary exit profile is one of those key examinations that will support the implementation of the National Standards Curriculum. So what this means is that we have a curriculum with examinations that are directly aligned to the curriculum, and of course all our teachers will be trained or are being trained accordingly.